let's play chess games here. Send me challenge, I will play with you. Okay, let's start this game. French Sicilian, right? I like when I have these really nasty central squares. Let's bring queen activity because now he can't jump on c3 and a5 fork. Take one of that pieces, which is very active pieces. And also have attack on his king side, which is, I will say, open. And a little bit hard to defend. So I will try to go forward in king side, yes. Let's defend like this, but if I take the knights, after that I can take, right? I don't know, maybe that should be okay, because he blocked his bishop and now my bishop on e7 wasn't be hanging. Because now my rook and queen is under attack, let's bring this pawn forward and threaten his bishop. And one more time. Well, let's take. We can take this because my bishop anyway will be lost, so we have a position like that. Well, let's start another game. E4, right? We have a gambit here. Let's not take yet. 94 is also a little bit threat here, so let's bring our bishop on e2 to defend that. If he takes, I don't care. I will take with a queen and this f file will be open, right? Okay, now let's go back. And okay, I can take, right? I will be up a pawn here. Because his d file is open, I will try to bring my pawn on d3 to create this really good pawn chain, and that will be very hard to break it and attack somehow. My rook is defended here, so let's just activate this bishop to open this rook. Bishop d2 right, because still I can't go an active square with this bishop. So that's still okay. I don't have to take, right? Let's check and see how can I go forward. Even I will try to bring my bishop in the game. Maybe there is some threats can happen. Okay, I'm attacking in his rook and I'm threatening rook g7, take his pawn, but he plays carefully. Now he can't take. If rook d7, if rook d6, I will take the pawn, and if he takes my rook, I don't know. This maybe should be okay. I have a plan to take his rook. Let's see if it gonna work or not. Okay, very good. That's actually worked here. The rook is hanging and that's with a check. If he takes the bishop, I will take with a check and then the rook. Which one I can take? I think this rook on g3 is a little bit active. So now we are up 3 pawns. 3 pawns, yes. So now I will try to take that. Let's defend also, don't get him this f file here. I will be happy if we trade the rooks because this bishop isn't opposite. So that can be a little bit easily then white square bishop against black square bishop. He can try check and bring his rook on this queen side. Okay, he's not doing that, which I think right, because the only way he can try to go here e1 and attack on this pawn from back, because that's a passed pawn, I will create a nasty attack from it. Because that's protecting, let's just defend one more time. I don't know, this should be okay or not, because he has dark square bishop, I don't wanna see my pieces on dark square so much. Okay, because he's kicking that figures. Rook e7, bishop g5, I think that should be okay, because I can easily bring 2 moves forward. Even if he takes bishop c5 and take, that can't be problem for me, you know? The problem is that my time is low. He's trading and that's very bad for him. Because now I'm pushing these pawns forward and also my time is still enough for do this. Well, let's do this. Pre-moves take all these pawns and what? Ah, okay, he took the pawn, right? Okay, let's force him to take. Okay, that was draw. Reputational, right? Let's play Vienna Gambit one more time here. Can defend this h4 too. This can happen. Okay, he's not doing that. Let's trade, right? Because if it goes bishop h5, g4 and f5 can win that. d3 because if I take, that will be pin. Sorry, fork. Bishop e3 and take his knight, yes, because that's a really active knight on there. I can even go back, let's see if he takes with a knight or not. Because now this f file is open. Takes with a knight or not. Because now this... I will take with a rook, yes. Let's try to bring all these figures here. That will be forks, so let's trade. And block this pawn from go forward and fork that figures. So I will bring another rook, yes? Or even queen g3, or no, that will be fork. Rook f5, yes? Let's play one more game here. Okay, that's a move, right? Let's fix this center and defend this c7 pawn. He was trying to fork there. e5 or not? Oh, I'm taking his bishop. Because the knight isn't guarding this. This pawn was actually hanging on d6, so let's defend. Because we are up a figure, we can trade and go back, right? Okay, that's still hanging. Okay, what miss? Rook c7 can be a threat, I'm not sure, but let's trade the rooks. And I don't need even castle here. So let's defend this third square. Well, rook c7 now can't work, which I was afraid for he will do that. Is this a move or not? Because he's up a pawn, but his pawns are double here. And mine is 2. That's still okay, but bishop is a little bit good in the endgame than knight. That's why I'm not losing here. I will take advantage if he push these pawns, some of these pawns forward, because after that I will go near to his pawns and try to take that. Okay, he undoubled his pawns, but now let's try to open this bishop, right? And d5 can be moved, but how can he go forward after that? Let's pressure his pawns, because if he takes, the 2 pawns will be a little bit weak then. Now let's trade and we are undouble the pawns too. So if he take, that won't be mistake, because his king side will be very good, I would say, yes. Okay, and this is the move, right? If it's needed, somehow I will bring the bishop and protect that pawn. Let's protect this b5 pawn first, because that should be very good for me. I am blocking his queen side. Now he can't go forward easily, so I will have enough time to go forward. This pawn is gonna lose, yes? That's still not easy, right? I will try to draw this position. And that actually can happen, you know? Okay, maybe if I was one move ahead, that could happen, right? Let's play Sicilian here, and okay, before a little bit tricky, but let's take and be a little bit careful here, because he was trying to bring his pawns in the center. That's why this all pawn sacrifices, and I don't know. He's trying to have a good center here, And also my queen can jump on d5 because the knight can't jump and threaten this. Maybe c4 and knight c3 can be idea, but he need to be sure that his queenside isn't that much undefended. Okay, let's bring this forward, right? d3 is hang. He has to bring his knight on f3, but this knight on g1 should bring on e2 after that, because f3 would be not easy to attack, but I have an idea. Let's trade the queens, and also if I take with a knight, I will threaten this f2 square. I will try to fork, right? But he's not taking. Okay, we have this check, right? Because this pawn isn't guarding this pawn on b4, which I took. Okay, can I take with a check? Knight h4 can be moved. After that, I have to go bring my bishop back, right? Or even queen d4 can be moved, because I will be under attack in his rook, but he's giving that to me. I don't know why. This pawn isn't very much good, and that figure was on f3. Is this a move, or a5 also can work, because I will try to take with rook, and that will be fast to bring another rook there. If he takes, I will be up a figure, and that should be all. That's why I'm trying to trade the pieces. Well, and what's the idea here? This pawn is under attack. Let's first defend that queen g6 can be moved to attack on this file. a5, yes, because that's still protected. And maybe rook b1, but that's also could be a pin, so he needs to be careful about it. He's bringing on his pieces on queen side, so I will try to attack on his king side, right? This pawn is hang. This can be a move, right? No, let's just fork this, because bishop g4 after trade, d6 will be hanging, which is protected from my queen. Okay, here is 9, but a lot of players are playing this because my time is a low there. And they are trying to win on time, which I don't respect so much. But somehow you need it when you are playing principal. Let's castle and g4, right? g4 defend, yes. Okay, he's not taking, just preparing for b4. Also I can trap his rook. That should be trap here. I think I'm winning exchange here anyway. Because his rook can go only c8, which I will take. He will take 3 pieces from me, and that should be 2 figures against rook, which I don't like. Let's take with a queen, but at f6, just my queen can't be there. Bishop b7 now won't work if I is protected, which he plays anyway. Okay, when you are opening your king, let's be sure that there is no threat. Because he can check anyway and take some material from you. Okay, I destroyed his pawn structure, but I don't wanna trade yet. I will give him his d5 because why I said that. Now I can take, because these pawns could be with each other, but now that can't. And now my king is active. That's why you need to learn endgames. Just my king is doing great job here. Okay, that's a little bit bad that he get this second rank, but should be okay. Let's go g4 because rook d5 we could trade, but my pawns couldn't be with each other after that. So that should be tried if he takes, but I would like to take this h7 pawn. Okay, Grob, yes, or not, what is called? d5 could actually happen there. Is he gonna take and trade the queens? No, he isn't. So he's playing so slow h5, h6 and g5. So now I have a nice attack over there. Bishop a3, yes. Okay, not that, please. Let's go h4. Maybe I could even castle queenside, but still let's attack on there, right? If I take, d4 will be protected, right? So let's do that. And also that should be a mistake from him because he thought that should be pin from him, but that actually can't happen. And even this pawn is hanging to right. So okay. I didn't saw that coming. Let's play one more game with him. What if d5? Because h2 will be hang if he takes with a bishop. But now let's protect it anyway. I will try to trade with his knight and double my rook star. Bishop g4 or knight g4? I think bishop g4, because after bishop trade, my knight can jump on g4, and because his knight isn't on f3 square, he hasn't. Just h2 will be weak there, right? Let's bring this on second rank and let's see how that's important to bring that here. Let's try to take this pawn. If that pawn can go forward, he will lose his bishop. Okay, where can I bring the knight? Maybe this should be okay, right? Because after this, my king will be open after that, and I would lose a pawn there. He's threatening knight. Yes, let's try to trade because his bishop is really active there. We can take with a rook too, right? Because that back rank is still defended. I can't take this pawn because that will be made. So let's still not do that. Queen c5, defend this pawn on a7 and queen d8. Queen f8, and that should be all defended, right? He's up a pawn, but let's see. Let's bring the king in the game and see what will happen. Even rook e2 to go this figure's back, because I think rook c1 could be played by him. Because he can't defend anyway that hard. This pawn is actually drop his rook, he brought this active square. So rook d1 I will trade, and my king can be a little bit active there. Rook c7 just block this. That's the actual position, but I will try to go queenside. Because kingside is a little bit more defended here, you know? We can't go there and try to create some attacking ideas there. Okay, I think my queenside pawn is a little bit forward, so I could bring that here and take some advantage. f6, just his king would be fast and he would take that pawn. I think that can be draw, right? Because after this trades, this pawn trade or even block somehow. What is this? Let's go g5. Try to block this king side, and I think he should go d6 and d5, and I was too. Okay, that was anyway losing. Let's start new game here. Okay, y5. d5 and trade. I will bring my knight on the center. Now we have this active line here. His knight isn't on f6. Let's bring bishop back. h6 can be moved, but I could sacrifice the bishop on h6 and mate him, right? Let's bring c3 because if the queen's traded, the bishop will be active here. That's a pin. He still can't move king f8. Okay, that's a move 2, right? But the difference is now his rook isn't defended, so if I pressure well, I think I will take it, right? Okay, we are up a figure here. And he can't even do back-rack checkmate. Because he opens that for me, so I don't even have to go h3, h4. He's trying to trade the pawns, and that should be draw in that position. When you have a bishop and rook against a rook. But that's hardly can be. Let's take this pawn on a5 first, because on c5 he can't defend. I don't know what is he trying to do. Okay, c7. Okay, and make a queen with check. Okay, that's right time to resign. Let's make a new bishop or knight here. Just because he isn't resigning. Let's make the rook here. Okay, that's his only move. Then the knight, yes. Don't take. Okay, I was trying to bring all this here. Okay, just the rook he took. And that's mate, right? Okay, we won this game. That's why you need to somehow resign some games. Let's respond with Olympic Gambit like he's playing. That's very simple. Let's go bishop back after trade. I would lose my pawn on d5. Let's force him to take and attack this pawn on d4. Okay, now let's trade. Let's take with a bishop because I don't wanna give him this passed pawn here. Now we can trade and take this pawn on d5. Now we can't. I will try to bring my rook on e8. Because after trade, d5 will be hanged. Sorry, d4. I will do that, let's see, just how we can response. Okay, very simple. Bishop f3. If he moves the knight, not d5. I will take and d4 will be hanged. Let's see how he can respond this move. I can bring my knight on c5. So c4. He's not let me do that. I'm pressuring and he has to take right. Otherwise he will lose a pawn there. But what if trade? Okay, the rook will be hanged, yes. E2 will be after this. Or even pressure his position, why not? Just if he moves, that will be pawn down. I will try to bring h5 g4 to force the knight goes back. But his plan is also simple. e5 to not my knight be in that square, so that it won't threaten, because that's pawn over protected from him. But I will break my knight on f5, just if I do this. Let's play this anyway, right? This is okay, and this pawn will be hang. But if knight d2, after this trade, not sure that pawn will gonna drop, right? After queen trade, e4 is hang. Knight d6, d6. Oh, okay, that's a move too. Another check here. And another. After knight d2, I will take this pawn. Ah, okay, h2 would be very good, you know. But knight f3. I thought I can trick him. Let's try to make a draw here. I'm doing tricky moves, so that will be hard for him to defend somehow. Okay, let's draw. Let's play one more game here. Let me gambit, right? Let's trade these pieces. If he attacks on e5, I will bring it back. It will really good bishop in the future after some trades here. But because he's trying to go b4, let's defend that square, and after that's all, I will try to activate my pieces here. Okay, let's have some trade, and because knight isn't there, I will try to bring my queen on e4 and try to mate him somehow, because my all pieces are active on that side. Queen e4, that should be hang. If it's not, just I will bring other pieces into the game, which are probably really active here. I will bring the bishop to trade because I want to see my queen on h4 and the knight on g5. Maybe even I can sacrifice some material here, take some advantage from his kingside weaknesses. and win this raid. Okay, my queen is under attack, yes. He needs to take this bishop on h4 first, because after this trade, I don't know. Or even, yes, that should be with attack, right? Not sure. What if take, and what should I do here? Queen h4 will work, or just he will go h5 and my attack will be over. I don't know. Now f6 is very weak, so I could even try to jump here after this trade. My knight isn't there, so that should be hard to play. Let's start another game. We will play Sicilian defense here. Okay, I will try to bring this center and try to get some advantage from here, because our center is really good. It's here. Okay, I will try to bring this center. After this, b2 will be hang, so try to take that. That's not a problem that my king side is open. I will try to bring my rook on g8 and then attack on this, because his position is a little bit deceptive here. I will try to use it as an advantage, you know. Okay, but how can I get some advantage? Just I have to bring my queen, but before that, bishop g4 or h3, because h3 I will try to threaten this g2 square, which will be protected. So I don't know if that should be right or not. h3 is hang, he can take because for pin. And let's see how he can respond for this move. If he moves the knight, okay, he took that first. Let's take the knight, because the knight will be hang on e7, and also he can check with f7. Knight f5, now we can bring some attacking pieces over here, and that should be good for me, because if he moves his queen, for example e2, and defend this knight, after this trade, knight h4 is a move. Okay, let's bring it here, because I am trying to overpressure this pawn on g2, and then I will bring another pieces into the game. Okay, let's defend, right? Let's be sure everything is protected. Why he went here? I am not sure, but let's activate these rooks. Okay, that's defending maneuver here. Let's take with a pawn or knight. Just I will untoggle my pawns here, but my attack will be over. So let's take with a rook. Knight f3 can be a move there. Okay, he can't take these pawns, because after that, just I will have some advantage from it. Now I said he can take king h1, yes. I will say only move. f2 is hang. Okay, he defends it. My knight is under attack too. Let's try to defend that. I don't wanna trade the queens yet. My queen is doing great job here after c3, just b2 will be hang, I will defend the knight. So that won't work. Let's attack on his rook and the pawn. Try to do some moves on queen side, take some advantage from it. Let's take the bishop and then the pawn, right? Because that's opening the queen. b3 is hanging, but I will hang this pawn on c5. So let's defend that first and then we can take it easily. Let's take. d5 is also hang, but I will hang this pawn on b7. Okay, that's attack on his rook, he can take one of these pawns. Now we have this passed pawn, we don't have to take another pawns here. So let's try to push it. Also my time is a little bit low, but I will try to win this. If I trade the queens, that should be losing for me because I have to try to win this. My time is low because that. What should be idea here? I have to do some pre-moves here. My time is critical low. Let's see, can I get something from here or not? This should be lost after if he take the queen. Or even not, I will push this pawn forward. That should be winning position for me, but you know that's hard. Okay, we are making new queen here. We are almost spending no time. Okay, just I spent 4 seconds for that last 3 moves, but that was a really good pre-moves. I should say that. Okay, no problem, let's just bring these pieces into the game. I can even take with a pawn and have this good center over here. Not a problem. What if take at f5, right? To also making strong that pawn structure. Knight d2 is a move. Okay, he plays it. Now we don't have to take this bishop. This bishop can be on b2, right? Because that this file is closed for him. That will be really good piece from here. And I can even try to long castle, right? Because my king side is active here, I would like to push these pawns forward, create some attacks. That's a little bit aggressive, but no problem, I will try that. Even I could try to sacrifice my pawn on g5, and after if he takes, I will open this bishop and take some advantage from his little bit weaknesses. Let's try to bring the queen on d5 and then g4 can be moved. If he knights goes back, just I will try to open this and try to mate. If not mate, just that will be open attack, you know, if I move the knight. That will threaten mate and I will threaten with my knight to some piece, and probably that should be really good for me. He's trying to take the knight and take on a7 pawn, but now I will say my position is a little bit faster because my plans are doing uh, really fast here. So because g3, right? If he takes, what should I play here? I don't think that's a threat. Okay, you can take the pawn on a7, right? Even this check won't work. But b6 can be hang after this. I'm not sure. Just his position is a little bit explode, I will say. No problem, let's bring this king on b8 and defend this pawn. Let's take this pawn, and this c7 is still protected. Rook can't jump over here and try to do something. And after this, if I move my queen... okay, even that could be right. I accidentally give it to him. What if take and this pawn on d4, right? I will try to bring my pieces on second or first rank. Try to mate him somehow and create some threats. Just queen a4 can be good idea. I think like that, because my rook can't jump here, or even if he jumps, rook f1, yes? That's why I would prefer to bring that on other side. Now I have to protect this c6 square, because that would be queen trade if I take. That will be rook loss if I not trade. Really was a tricky position over there. d3, right? Because that will help this central pawn to defend against this bishop on b7. Knight b5. Okay, he's giving to me, but that's also opening g5, but that's closed. I would like to bring my knight on b5, but after e5 I don't know how can I create some attacks over there. He's trying after take, play knight g4, and after h3, if I take, he will open this h file, and probably that should be made. Let's take this pawn first, because queen isn't guarding there. Okay, now we can take, and also with the knight he will lose that, because this pawn. Okay, he hangs another pawn. Because I'm up how many? 3 pawns? I will trade this, right? Let's take with a pawn, so if I take with a queen, my pawn will be hanging, and if not hanging, that should be trouble, and that would gonna lose after some moves. Let's pressure his position and even call this forces forward. His queen was hanging. Maybe he was trying that I'm just defending this pawn on f6 with just a5, yes? Okay, he resigned. Let's play one more game. Let's play French Sicilian here. We could also take with the knight, which can be a little bit good for him. And we'll play bishop c5 here. That's why I played b6, and bishop b7 is also a move. Try to open this. Now his pawns are double. Okay, let's castle. I would like to castle queenside because his kingside is a really good protectively. His all pieces are there besides the rook on a1. I don't know even why he's trying to trade these pieces and be down a pawn. f5 because I would like to bring my queen on c6. Okay, that's trade, and how this could even happen, don't know. Let's play this fast and not care about that my turn will be though in endgame or middle game. After this, h4, h5 can be played, right? Or even bring the rook. Okay, take it if you want. I don't wanna disapprove my bishop, and even if bishop back, a2 would be hang after that. He's losing a figure there, see? Let's get some defense here. And let's force him to bring his rook back also. So he doesn't want to do that, right? Can I trap his rook somehow? Here, h4, right? Let's kick this from here and king h2 and then g3, because if I play g3 and after that b3, maybe he would try to bring his knight on e6, I mean back, and bring his rook on c5. That's why I worried about. Okay, my bishop will be hang after trade, so still let's not do that. But I have to take or not? I think not. I will play g3 this time. Okay, let's take with the knight. And g3 is unstoppable, right? g3 just, he can't jump his rook anyway. Okay, let's save this pawn structure, not being isolated to pawns. My king is a little bit active here also. No, not on h2. He can't take, and I will bring my rook on c7. That's why he probably needs to take with another pawn only. This pawn is hang, he has to attack on other pieces there. If you can't defend, just attack. Let's take this passed pawn. A2 is hang. I will push this forward, and I think he needs to sacrifice the Maltiel here, right? Even he can try to push this king side, and let's see what will happen. Okay, he's trying to block my rook. Try to take the rook like I did some moves ago. What if rook f4? Sacrifice one for pride. Let's don't bring on that forward of the pawns because we will check and bring that forward from forcing moves. So let's bring my king in this like forward, and that's also helped this pawn to defend on a7, which won't be if my king was a on that squares like before. These all are protected. What if takes? Take the bishop and threaten queen, right? If he moves his pawn one more forward, I will take it with a check and I would go back. But that should be okay. I don't know even I have to take or not. Okay, I lost on time. I don't know my position was lost or not because my post pawn would do great job there. Let's kick the queen and bring another pieces, right? Normally, who plays Scandinavian defense, they are bringing all his queenside pieces, not kingside, and they are trying to castle long and attack on my squares on this king side. Even they will have so much good center on it. What's the move that I can play? Okay, I don't think I have to take. Because my bishop isn't doing anything here. Let's bring back. I can play bishop f6. Okay, that was hang to right. I played well then. When I'm attacking, I don't see the defensive moves. Okay, where can I jump? e4? Okay, that wasn't hanging. Now we have knight and rook against the queen. Not very bad position, I would say. My figures are too active, and rook d3 or e4 can be moved, because d4 will be hang, if not. Okay, because after take that would be fork and he will take that. So white needs to take the bishop first. And then that's a fork, or he can do something on this f7 square. I will take his rook with a check if he tries to save his queen. Maybe queen e6 can be a move, and I don't know, even his knight is under attack to try to save his position. But if he takes with a queen, just I will take with a check the rook and then the queen. Because he has 3 pieces and all of these are hanging. I will take with a check, and then the knight. Okay, this h2 is defended. He is very lucky that I haven't bankrupt checkmate. I think I missed just rook d6. If he moves his queen, just could I check and try to do bankrupt checkmate or not? I think not, because queen b3 he would defend that d5, d1 square anyway. This pawn rook was hang. So because his knight is active, I will take this if he give it to me. If not, knight a4 is only move, right? He plays, and this can be a move, right? I am attacking on his knight, he's still defended. But after h6 here, let's be sure we won't get mate here. I will pressure his knight and try to take that. So now, because I can't, and the attack will be not the best move, because that's defended with a pawn. Only defensive move, right? Because I can't go back. I can't take. If he takes with the knight, bishop c7, and this pawn will be blocked from his queen. And if he goes back, just check and we will see. I saw his time is low. That's all still defended. What if check? Okay, let's go c1 to not blunder a rook here. He thought king h8 probably. That's losing for him, right? Okay, very well played. Let's play another one. Okay, I probably know what he's trying to do here, and I am moving with pre-moves. Bishop c5. Okay, that should be mouse click. I will create huge attack on it, but it's gonna work. Not yet, but if I bring the queen there, I think that should be okay, but I don't wanna take first with a queen, so let's bring this on f7. Okay, c5 can be moved, because that time I couldn't go forward. What if b6 and try to bring my bishop on p6, and that should be really good, because I will try to overpressure on this f2 pawn, bring my queen and force him to defend that. And if defended somehow, his position will be a little bit deceptive. Okay bro, we will play the next game. Let's finish this and see what will happen here. I will lose a material there, right, if I do this. He's trying to play c5 to block my bishop. And I think g5, g4 can be played, right? Because that will kick the knight from there, and g1 that will be so passive in that position. That's a little bit aggressive, I will say, but that should be okay, right? Because still everything is defended, and my king side is a really good here, so he can't get some advantage from my king weaknesses. I would be happy if his knight isn't protecting d5, because I will try to jump over there. Okay, anyway, let's do this. If he takes with a rook, g4, and I will take this pawn on f2, and that should be mate, right? Knight f4 is a move here. Okay, that's with a check. Knight f4, I would just take a pawn there, and that also should be good. I sacrifice. I don't know if that should be okay or not. Okay, let's still not do that, because we are up a piece. I don't wanna trade here. Queen b7 and try to use these two square weaknesses, which I will defend anytime. This pawn is fine, let's take. And bishop d4 can be a move. If I take, I will win this, right? Isn't don't have to take, but still I'm up a figure. What if check? Okay, I will bring bishop back and h2 will be hanging. Let's protect all this. Because I don't wanna see he is checking and take one of these pieces here. Queen e8. I will bring rook back. Okay, h5 is it hanging. Let's go h3 because h5 is still defended and this g6 will be not drop. If it's gonna drop, I don't know. I'm threatening mate. Okay, sacrifice this right. But now we will do this pre-moves and win. Okay, his time. Time out. Okay, Kavinesh sent me challenge. And let's play this game. Okay, I found you. Let's send you a challenge and start to play. I think 3 minutes is okay, right? Okay, let's start this game. I sent you, check your chess.com and let's play. We have Caro-Kann defense here. I will try to bring this on the center also. I would try e5, right? To open this center because my bishop on c8 isn't that good here, I will say. Let's overprotect center and if we push this forward. Okay, just because my white square bishop on c8. Let's get some trades and then the queens. Because if I move my queen, he would have this e-file for his queen. Okay, and now... Okay, so, try to see all his threats. Knight c5 could be moved and that will be attack on my pawn and bishop. But now that should be only in a bishop from d4. And I can protect that easily with rook a8. a4 is a move. I will try to push it in my next move, if I can somehow. This should be move right. I will bring my knight on active square. Let's check. And because my knight is active, maybe now I need to try bring another, right? Another piece into the game. Even g4 check can happen. Let's take, and because his king is a backward, I will try to bring this king on active square, try to get some squares from him. Let's check. Am I need to take or not? I think I can. Okay, that's the draw. Let's play one more game with him. We have Italian Gambit, right? d4 and take. He's playing right. Knight c3, queen c2, I will take that pawn on d5. Because he has to go his knight on e4 to not blunder that pawn on h7. If I take with a rook, that should be pinned, so let's take with a queen. But probably I would like to take with my rook on a1 to bring this activity and bring all these figures into the game. Bishop b2 I will bring because rook c2. That should be pinned, right? c7 is under attack. He was trying to bring his knight to take my rook. If not, just that should be made on d1 because my bishop was in c1. Okay, let's now attack, and this g7 is unprotected. I will take after this. Knight d4 can be moved, which he is not doing. That will protect. I'm not sure even rook c4 will work there or not. And if I bring g3 or h3, that should be okay in this position, right? If I take, that should be made. And if he brings his bishop on b7 to attack on this, g2 will be protected, so let's push this h3 pawn forward, because that would be anyway big rank checkmate. Okay, see, if I push g3, that should be made. And that's a miss from him. Okay, how I said. Let's take this pawn. He's trying to get some advantage from it, and because the knight is protecting uh, this rook, now we can go forward and have a check here. And can I win this? Because he's trying to get some advantage from these ranks, but also his king is exploited. I should have a mate here. Because c8 is protected, I think I can bring it here, and I have a mate with 2 rooks. Okay, and that's mate. Let's send him a challenge and play one more game with him. He played really good here, you know. We have English opening. Well, he will defend this d5. He has really good activity on that square. So I will try to bring my pieces there and don't give him completely that square. So he will try to bring his knight on g5 and trade the bishop, which I don't like, because that will be really attacking good square on that h3. And I can even cut a long castle, because these pieces are doing great job on king side. Because even if I castle in king side, that should be a little bit hard for me to defend. And also because my pieces is doing great job here, I would like to attack there. He can create some fast attack that can save him from this position, and he couldn't just move forward, because if he somehow do that, that will be so slow in positional, I mean, and his position will be ruined after that. Maybe he couldn't defend, that's all. And now h4 is hanging. King g1 I think can be probably a little bit good, but what if castle, and if he takes the rook check? I'm not sure about that. I need to try or not, because if I go back, that should be down a tempo for me. But if I castle, and because he has enough time to defend, rook h1 can be moved, because if you think opponent have active piece, try to deactivate it or trade with your disactive piece, which he has on f1, I mean his rook. Okay, another activation here, because that's protecting that squares which I could use to jump there, and because I started to defend my bishop on e6, because I went h6 to not trade this. But now if he takes, I don't care about that, because it's defending the pawn on g4, but we have a lot of defenders for it, so I don't need it so much. And the one figure that he's doing great job here, I think that's the knight. If he moves the knight, I can sacrifice the rook, probably, and get some advantage, because even his light square bishop is doing great job here. He's protecting all that squares very well, which I need to jump. Okay, the knight is hang. Let's take and try to take h5, and then knight h4 can be moved. Yes, that will be open check, and because he's down a piece here, I don't know, it can be hard thing for defend after knight h5, which is unstoppable. Okay, let's play and check, right? Because we have active square on f4. And what should I do? Let's pressure his bishop. Bishop g2. I will trade rook rook h2, king g3 maybe. That should be mate if king g1. That should be another winning here. Let's see how he gonna respond. I think that's already bad for him. He can't even bring his king to defend this bishop. Okay, and I won this. Let's play one more game with him. We have another Scandinavian defense here. Let's go here and don't let his bishop be. Oh. Okay, that was some noises that will disturb because why I and that voice. H5 is a move, right? What's that move? Okay, if I take, he can take the rook, so let's trade the queens. I don't know I'm doing right or not, because still I'm down a figure. Let's resign this. We have French Sicilian here. I will castle and trade red, but before castle let's activate this. Also e5, knight d5, and my pawns will be double, but I would have good attack on here. Okay, he's trying to take the knight after e5. Let's not let do them, and if he takes, we will trade. His bishop will be kicked, and he still can't castle. Let's bring the rook in this active square. Bishop f5, right? He's trying long castle probably. That's why we need to bring this figures there. Okay, really good move. He can't take my bishop, that will be made from b2. Bishop a3 is a move. If he takes, that will be made. I'm bringing more pressure over his king. Now we can also check, and bishop f5 is a move, right? Let's bring it back and undouble these pawns. That should be a little bit defensive for my king here. Let's trade and bishop back, because now he has to bring c3. Knight c3, d4 could be moved. Okay, and that's nice, right? h5. I will take, but I will prepare for g4. g4, h5, I will take after that, not a problem. But before that, I will try to bring this pawn on c4 and try to take this pawn if bishop back. That will be okay, right? He can't take. Maybe he can take the bishop, and then even my bishop will be under attack. Let's take and take this pawn on b3. Let's take this pawn. I'm threatening to take another, and that should be open. They probably can try to mate in from here. Let's go and defend this pawn, but we can try to trade the queens, which should be a little bit hard for me to play after this. Let's bring it on c8, because c7 he will check with a rook, and I have to take, and my rook will be lost. Okay, and that's pinned. Well, let's now take the queen. And what's the moves here? Let's threaten his rook, and not sure this can be moved here, right? Okay, that's a draw, why not? Well, let's end this stream. I will see you today too. Okay, goodbye everyone.